Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Dbacks Dispatch with me, Brandon, Gabe, and Brett. This series freaking sucked. I know typically when we think the Detroit Tigers are not very good, record wise, though, coming into this series, you could say that they were better record wise than we were. So, yeah, we lost 2 out of 3. We should have taken this series. We should have taken Saturday without a doubt. That one really hurt. We'll get more in depth with that. And Javi Baez, what in the actual hell? I don't know what happened. The man raised his batting average from like 167 to like 20 something. That's ridiculous to see someone do that in a series. So this is going to be there might be multiple tangents on today's episode. I can only speak for myself, but it's probably what's going to happen with me. Gabe, how are you feeling?
I am pretty ticked off, honestly. I think we should have taken this series. Not only taken the series, but I think we should have swept the Tigers. Because I know they have some young guys back there, but if you look up and down the lineup, it's a lot of guys hitting like 240 and under, and with like 700 OPS. There's nothing there offensively. Their pitching is good. I'm not going to say their pitching is bad because they have really good pitchers back there. But damn, man, like, especially those first couple of games, there's no other word to describe them other than pathetic. Like, they gave a pathetic effort in both games. Like, they, no, like, if your name is not Zach Gallen and even like Corbin Carroll and Marte, you should be ashamed of yourself with the way those games went because nobody had anything. They got, 4 hits and scored 2 runs, whatever the hell it was, total through 2 games. And then with the starting pitching starting pitching was great for Gallen, but Nelson and, oh man, like, it's just so frustrating to watch. And we keep saying it over and over again, like, they're going to get on the run, this and that, blah, blah. And people keep still blaming the injuries. But is it the injuries, or does this team underperforming, or do they suck? Do we need a pitching coach change? Do we need something? Because the way it's looking like now, then something's got to change, man. Like, I don't know. I don't think we got lucky last year. I think we did have a really good team, but the way they're playing right now, I'm like, we're first half merchants at this point because, damn, like, their record since that first half has been really bad other than the playoffs. So if we're hoping that we get into the playoffs and then, the real season starts, we're not going to get into the playoffs like this.
No, we're definitely not. Mr. Overreaction, Sky is Falling Brett, how are you feeling?
So, one, I feel like Gabe just actually like walked into my home and assaulted me with saying we need to change the pitching coach. How dare you insult Strami? I'm just kidding. I mean, I do agree. It's definitely really disappointing seeing how.
Oh, sorry, I meant hitting coach. Sorry about that.
Okay, no, that makes sense.
Coach, yes, there we go. Sorry.
That's why I was like, Strami, what? No, I'm gonna die in a hill for that man. But yeah, so the hitting has definitely been the most inconsistent thing. So I would definitely at least agree that maybe it's time to get on the hitting coach and be like, hey, what are you doing here, bud? But it's just, like you guys said, it's just disappointing. This team, we know they can play better than they do play. Monday, I will at least admit, like, I'm not gonna lie, I did not think they were gonna win that. Like, Tariq Skubal is insanely good.
You mean Friday?
Sorry, Friday. Yeah, my bad. The Friday game with Ryan Nelson going on the mound at Chase Field. I brought it up before, but his stats just this year alone at Chase Field, he already has a over 8.6. He has an 8.66 ERA in 17 2/3 innings, 31 hits, 7 walks. Hitters are hitting 378, 429, 561. So I was personally not expecting them to even win that game. But yeah, that Saturday game was fucking pathetic. That was terrible. I'm sorry, you can't let your ace go out there and pitch 7 innings. Well, should have been 7 innings. And yes, he gave up 3 runs with 10 strikeouts. Adds 20 whiffs that we'll get into, obviously. But it's just, like Gabe said, is this who this team is? Or are they genuinely just in an actual, like, super long rut?
And we've said it multiple times. As Corbin goes, this team goes. And Corbin, like, I don't understand. Like, some games it looks like he's breaking out of it, and then some you're just like, yep, he's in his sophomore slump. This is going to continue for a quite a bit of long time. I am getting a little bit more worried because I think we're almost at 50 games. And yeah, he's not batting well. He's under, I think, under 200 at this point. So we end up losing 13-0 on Friday. Ryan Nelson, 4 innings, 11 hits, 8 earned runs, brings his season ERA to 7. That's just not good. In terms of highlights for Diamondbacks, there is this kind of funny Mark Canha strikeout where if he doesn't swing, he gets hit right on the elbow. But because he's swinging, strikeout. And then Cattell, in the 9th inning, by the way, extends his hitting streak to 16 games, another 1-for-4. We talked about it on the last stream. I don't think anyone is talking about it because he keeps going 1-for-4. And typically on hit streaks, you see guys with averages in like 330, 340. It's like 252, 254. So he's not really going anywhere, but it's still really impressive to be almost 3 weeks or so straight of getting at least one hit. But no, the star of this game was Tarik Skubal. Just phenomenal. He is probably without a doubt the front runner for AL Cy Young. He's now 6-0 on the year, 9 starts, 55 innings, 1.8 ERA, 66 Ks with a .78 WHIP.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, like he is out. Like,
goodness. Look at his baseball savant page too. Jesus,
I don't want to because it's just going to make me even more sick because he should be on this team. They weren't able to sign him, so he goes back in. And yeah, he is. Yeah, I mean, I can understand why he went back because he got picked in the 29th round.
Yeah.
And then the next year he goes in the 9th round, so goes way earlier. But no, like he is. He is without a doubt their best pitcher. He's been making a lot of progress over the last few seasons, so it's really good to see him kind of make this leap. 2021 he gave up 35 home runs, so it is really interesting to see him make such a massive leap from where he was just a few seasons ago. He went 6 innings in this game, only gave up 1 hit, 6 Ks. Nelson wasn't the only one who struggled. Matt Bowman didn't look very good either.
No.
I know they need another arm in the bullpen, but I've been like, Bowman to me has been just okay. Like he's there, and like if they like, he goes like a week in between outings too. Like he doesn't, like you can definitely tell like he's like, all right, who has pitched a lot recently? Oh, nope, not Matt Bowman. Let's throw him in there. And I think they wanted
2024 Randall Delgado.
Not wrong on that one. But Logan Allen got 9 outs, looked pretty good. So that was good to see. But yeah, this game wasn't just. Oh god, it made me sick to watch. To watch this game. But Ryan Nelson. I don't even know if I want to see him make his next start. Torrey said that he will though, which I was like, apparently they haven't even thought of not. I was like, on the road, I'm fine with it.
I think at this point it's a like show me type of thing for Ryan because he was at home and I guess they kind of got to him a little bit because man, even Brentley said like it looks like they know what's coming. So maybe that's what it was. I mean, but it was everybody. It just seemed like the entire team was flat, like in terms of pitching. So I really don't know because it was very strange the way they were hitting them. They're going the opposite way. So I don't know if it was a pitching coach thing or just it was just the fact that they were late on his fastballs and then they were just able to like muscle it through to the other side. I mean, we even saw in the second game the hit that Carson Kelly got. That shouldn't have been a hit. It was just the way they had like a really extreme shift. So Marte was just way too far off to the side. He would have never gotten that hit if Marte was just maybe a step or two to his left. But I don't know. Maybe it was just one of those things where they see the peripherals on Ryan and then they realize, okay, the game wouldn't have been this bad if this, if that. Because how many home runs? That didn't really hit any home runs off of him, did it? It was just like a lot of singles and doubles.
0.
Yeah, so
they had
so I want
3, 4, 5 doubles and 2 triples, but no home runs.
Do you think
But then
because they
also-
just play in such a big park, they're just like, we don't need to hit home runs, just gaps?
just gap shots going the other way. It was just like
17 hits,
Almost
by the
like-
way.
they played the way the D-backs played last year, which is just a lot of singles and doubles and just going the opposite way, getting guys on base. Like it seemed like they, used zone D-backs, skills against them at this point. But man, like even if Ryan Nelson would have thrown a shutout, it didn't matter. They scored no runs. They went 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. That's what I was talking about earlier. Like pathetic. Like the offense was pathetic. They don't even look like they want to be there. Like, and I don't know else to say it. Like, I know people, can comment all they want. Like, oh, well, it's baseball's hard. What do you know? Blah blah blah. I'm like, they have no life in them. I have no other way to say it. They truly have no life. Anytime they get a hit off of them, they all like look like they have their shoulders slumped over. Like. And then when, they score 6, 7 runs off of them, instead of trying, like, look at the Phillies. They score 7 runs on the Phillies. So guess what they're doing the next inning? They're, taking crazy hacks and being patient. Like they try to come back. And this team, as soon as they go down by 1 or 2 runs, they're just like, okay, well, we did our job. So now we're just going to lie down and die. Like there's no fight in this team. There's no real effort. And today was different. But again, this is what we've seen this whole time. They lose the first 2 games, they lose 2 games in general, and then they just have the one blowout game, and then that's it. Like we've been talking about how meaningless the run differential is, and we saw with this series finally they went under 500. Under 500. Yeah, they got under. They're like -3 runs or something like that. I think they still might be in the minus for run differentials at this point. So that's just how meaningless it is because everyone's like, oh, well, they're runners in scoring position, and then they're positive in this and positive in that. I'm like, we're getting to the point in the season where those numbers are starting to even themselves out, and we're starting to see like
-1 in run differential.
yeah, same with runners in scoring position too. We were 4th last week, and I looked it up. On Monday, I think we were like 4th in runners in scoring position, and at this point, I think we're like probably like midway through. Like this is a very as the way it's currently construction, this is a very mediocre team. And I feel like after this upcoming week against the Dodgers, they're going to be lucky if they sniff 500 by the end of the month.
Yeah. What's so frustrating with this offense is on paper, they should be good. But there's so many guys that are slumping right now. Gurriel, Suarez, Carroll. Walker has some weeks where like he goes back and forth with me. The only one that's really hitting right now is Jock and Marte. And I don't know how long this Kevin Newman thing's gonna last, so just trying to ride it for as long as we can. Game 1 might have been the ugliest game that I've seen this season. Without a doubt.
That was just everything about it, Like I was saying before, Ryan Nelson is just terrible at Chase Field. Just absolutely garbage. His career ERA is now up to 7.55 just in like 31 something games alone at Chase Field. He's not good. Like you said, I don't want to see him make his next start. It's just, I mean, it's going to be against the Marlins if he does start. So hopefully that's like, if he does, it's a confidence booster. But with our luck this season, that's just going to be a game where he gets shelled again at home. And I feel like that would officially be the put a fork in him. He's done. Like the Ryan Nelson experiment needs to be over, or at least as a starter. And then like you brought up with Gino, yeah, dude, Gino's hitting after I believe this series 211 with a 599 OPS. He's not doing what he was brought here to do. Like he's basically worse than Emmanuel Rivera, like he was last year. And maybe it might be a little better, but I feel like Rivera just they're playing the same at this point, and it's just rough to see because he was brought here to bring a spark to this team, and we're just not seeing it. Like I fully agree with Gabe. Like they go down by a few runs, and they just don't. It just seems like they don't want to fight back, especially like if they're against a good pitcher like Tariq Skubal or maybe it's Tarek. I don't know, but if it's against Skubal, back when they face Yamamoto, when they're facing like aces of teams, it seems like if they just go down a little bit, they're just afraid. It's like they're kind of like, well, you know what, guys, it was a good try. We're not going to be able to get it done tonight. Let's go and get back to it tomorrow. Where last year, that's why they're the answer backs, creating the chaos. We don't see them really getting on base and running at all this year. Like it's because when the people that are getting on base are the ones that aren't the speedsters. It's not that, like you said, Brandon, this team goes with Corbin Carroll. When Corbin Carroll's getting on base, he's actually able to speed or steal, and create that chaos on the base paths. Like we're just not seeing anything like any resemblances of the team that we saw last year, and it was like you said, ugly that first game. Not like all around. The offense is terrible. The pitching was terrible. I mean, again, still at least want to give props to the Tigers. Like you're saying they're not a terrible team. They're not the Tigers of past. Like 2 years ago where they're losing like 100 and something plus games, just like the Dbacks in 21. But it's still, these are teams that you still want to see them beat if you want your team to make the playoffs, and like obviously we're expecting them to and still hoping they can, but you can't be playing like this for very much longer. Like it's starting to be not early in the season anymore.
It's really not there. So let's wipe our hands of that game one, move on from that, move on to game number 2.
Oh yeah, time to get more pissed off.
Was it much better? It was for most of the game. Take out the 7th and 8th inning. Zach Gallen looked dominant through the first 6. Really, he just kind of struggled there in the 7th inning. So just a couple of highlights here to go over. Corbin Carroll rips a rocket down the right field line, gets his first triple of the season. I believe this was only the team's second triple overall of the season. We didn't have to wait very long for Carroll to do it again. He did it today on Sunday. Marte extends his hit streak to 17 with this just fly ball, and it's so funny to listen to the broadcast because Steve Bethume's like, get down, he's like, please, like, just because he knew
the way this team's been playing, he needed it.
Gurriel didn't start the game, but had a pinch hit RBI single in the 8th, kind of a meaningless run, but it was nice to see him do it. Javi Baez goes 4 for 5. What in the actual hell?
Actual war crime if you let 2024 Javier Baez in back-to-back games go 3 for 5 and then 4 for 5. Insane.
Like, it almost makes me like, maybe, like, because if you look at his numbers, he does very well at Chase Field. And I'm like, I kind of want to tweet out, should the Diamondbacks trade for Javi Baez if the Tigers are willing to pay his contract? But then I'm like, no, that's just stupid. Because he's not. This is an exception, not the.
Come again?
This is, yes, I know. I was very depressed watching the game last night. It was more of that because they should have won this game.
Yeah,
they should have won this game without a doubt. Gallen just couldn't get to the 7th, so they brought. Who did we bring in?
Mantiply.
Mantiply. Yeah, Mantiply. I think he was doing too well for too long, and that typically is what happens with him lately. He struck, like, the 7th inning was weird. Like, Gallen gets through. He lets some guys on, double, and he gets 2 strikeouts. And then he gives up a double to Javi Baez, and then a single to his former roommate in Carson Kelly, who there was a clip out there the first time Carson Kelly came up to bat, a little smirk from Gallen, just kind of as they were roommates when they both were in I think it was Reno at that
St.
point.
Louis. It was,
No,
I
no,
think it
no,
was
no,
back
no.
when-
No, when they were both first here,
Oh,
they
okay.
were roommates in AAA, and I think it was Reno at that point, and then Mantiply comes in, double, and then I don't understand this decision by Toy, a intentional walk to Mark Canna, like that one.
Canna's a pretty solid hitter. I especially because I believe there. I mean, I know there's 2 outs there, but Canna against a lefty, I could somewhat understand it numbers wise. So I believe he's pretty good against lefties.
Well, the guy after was a switch hitter anyway, so that's why it doesn't make sense. I mean, he was going to be facing 2
true.
righties. Yeah, anyway, so that's why it was one of those. That's what we talked about with Torres, not putting guys in positions to succeed. Like Gallen, he had the 2 outs already, and like I think I mentioned earlier, he got the ground ball. He got the ground ball against Carson Kelly. He should have been out of the inning. They just had an extreme shift on him, so they weren't able to get the actual out. But it's not like they hit him hard or anything.
Marte
where it was
was
like,
this close.
Yeah, and it just barely. And like I said, he would have been one step to his left. He would have caught that, and the inning would have been over. But they just had an extreme shift on Kelly. So at that point, it's not really Gallen's fault. He got what he needed. He got a soft ground ball, which is what they were looking for. And instead of Torrey trusting him, as great as he's been all game, he had 10 strikeouts. He was there, 7 hits. Like I said, just a little, unfortunate little dribbler up the line. And I this is one of those situations where people are like, "Oh, why didn't he take him out?" Blah blah blah. This is one of those situations where you want your guy to either win it or lose it for the team. Gallen, I think, would tell you, 10 out of 10 times, I would have preferred to pitch out there because if they lose this game, if he gives up the run, that's on me. That's what they will tell you every single time. And I tweeted it out too that up until this point, he had a 2.84 ERA. When Mantiply came in, by the time Mantiply came out of the game, Gallen had a 3.02 ERA. His ERA jumped over 20 points, and it took him out basically out of contention for the Cy Young again, which has happened quite a couple times during the season where Torrey will take him out. He'll leave a runner on first, even if it's 2 outs. That runner's going to score. It seems like every time Gallen pitches, the runner's going to score no matter what if he leaves the guy on. So I would have preferred if he just would have stayed. I mean, this is your ace. Your ace is supposed to be able to get out of these sort of jams, especially against a team like the Tigers, who, like I said, Carson Kelly just barely got it through him. He got the ground ball that he needed. And as great as Mantiply has been, he was facing one lefty. If he doesn't get him out, what then? You're leaving him against 2 righties, even though one of them is a switch hitter. But again, you're leaving him up for 2 righties, and then what's the game plan then, Lovello? Like, there is none. But just frustrating. And even if I know there's some nephews on Twitter tweeting out like, "Oh, he deserves that run. He couldn't get the job done." Blah blah blah. But even if he got the job done, this team would have been 3-2 anyways. You would have had to rely for the 8th and 9th against the relief. The relievers would have to be perfect at their jobs, not allow a single run. Like they scored 3 runs. 3 runs is not going to get you a lot of wins in this unless your pitcher's throwing a shutout at that point. And shutting out a team is hard unless you're the Dbacks, apparently, because they find it really easy to be shut out.
Yeah. And then Ginkle came in the 8th, and he completely shit the bed. 4 hits, 2 earned, raises his ERA to 4.91. He's not having a good month of May. He has had six appearances, 1 inning, a third, 1 inning, 1 inning, 1 inning, 1 inning, 11 hits, 6 earned. His opponent batting average has gone from 208 to 284. So, and his ERA has gone from 2.57 to 4.91. So almost 2.5 full runs of his ERA going up. He's just going through a rough patch. Ginkle, I think Ginkle is very good. I think that's why we saw Thompson almost go 2 innings today. Torrey didn't have a choice. He had no one else to trust.
Also, to get that final out because Mantiply couldn't get the job done. They brought in J Mart. So if J Mart was available, why didn't they put him instead? Why not put in the guy who throws 103 miles an hour? Doesn't matter if it's right or left. You got a guy who throws 103 miles an hour. Instead of bringing him in, you bring in Mantiply. Like I don't get it. That decision didn't make any sense to me at the time.
Yeah, I mean, it very rarely makes sense to me. I'd never like to see Mantiply be the first guy out, especially this late in the game. First guy out, if you have a guy that goes 6 or 7, the first guy out needs to be Tea Time or Ginkle. Personally, for me, especially when it's a close game. If it was like something with Friday, obviously don't bring out Thompson or Ginkle. Like that's just wasting unless they haven't pitched in like 3 days. And you just need them to get out so that they can stay consistent. So I'm hoping Ginkle can right the ship because I still think he's a top 8th inning guy.
I think
that fastball and slider is too good.
I think a lot of the struggles just with the entire team is just that kind of like that's where, Domo not being there, I think once he's back, that's a big thing. Because I feel like, Gino was brought in to be like a big clubhouse guy. And I know like he's probably trying his best, but it's probably tough to be like a big clubhouse guy when you yourself are going through a really rough like stretch. So I wouldn't be surprised like if it's just a lot of the team itself is just going through just a big mental patch right now. And that's where hopefully my coping mechanism comes into once Domo comes back. And then now with Seawald back, hopefully. Kind of, like you're talking about, we haven't seen it yet with Ginkle actually sliding back into his normal old self. But hopefully, whatever it is that's kind of throwing them off, they can kind of, figure it out and just, move on from it. Again, the nice thing is they're still 3 under 500. They're still going to face the Dodgers next, but they have the Marlins right after. So hopefully, I still believe in them. It's just, it is rough to see the entire team, especially, like you said, Ginkle going through some of the rough patches they've been doing lately. It's just, I don't know.
I just want to say Jack Flaherty's a piece of shit. That's all.
I won't go that far. It's a little bit baby shit soft. It's a little bit baby shit soft to be mad at like the home team's ace, like that hey, you have the right to dig into the mound as much as you want, but he also has the right to fucking fill it in every time. Like that's what they're there for. Cry me a river, stop being a little bitch. You don't need to yell across the field about it just because you're mad. Like who fucking cares?
Yeah, it was like I was at the game and I was so confused. I'm like, this has got to be like the second time in 3 innings that they've had to do this. And then I came home and I watched the broadcast and went, oh, now I know why. Because he kept just like, if you would look, like he was angry when he was digging his foot right by the rubber.
Yeah, he did that since like that first inning too. Like as soon as he came up to pitch, like he really, really dug in it. Like there was parts of the actual mound, like the bottom part, it was exposed, like almost completely. And Gallen later said, like around the 4th inning, he started to feel like cramping up or hamstring issues because of it. Because yeah, of course, like how are you not? You're used to it one way, and then you come in, and your leg is like a lot deeper than it normally would be. Like the way it's, Flaherty was making the mound, just the way he knows he likes it. So it's kind of a very weird, like almost like a nothing burger thing to get mad about. So it's like, yeah, of course he's the home pitcher. Like he kind of has, the right to tell the grounds crew like, hey, can you fill this up so I don't, blow up my hammy because this dude is, digging all his way to China trying to get, his foot in the friggin' thing. But then he was just chirping. He was chirping at the grounds crew. Like you can see him in the replay. He's like talking crap to them, like, "Hey, leave it alone, blah blah. Like it's fine, but," and it's like, leave the grounds crew alone, dude. Like, I've worked in landscaping. I know, there's times where our homeowner would ask for certain things, and somebody else would get mad and be like, "Why are you guys cutting so low?" I'm like, "It's their hedge. Like, what do you want me to do? If you have a problem with them, ask them. Like, I don't know what the hell's wrong with you." And then, yeah, I just kept going back and forth, and then obviously, he starts talking once the game gets out of hand and Lovello comes at him a bit. So I mean, good on Lovello for protecting his guys, but it's also like whatever, dude, just go out, get a freaking shovel. Like I don't care. Go dig out another damn hole. Like
it's okay. We're gonna see Trevor Plouffe just going on there and just being like, Zach Gallen's soft, Jack's my guy, he's such a dog, and just dick ride him, which is fair.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I said, it's kind of a weird situation. It's kind of a nothing burger. Like there shouldn't be any more than just two guys just going at it. Which it's mind games. It's Gallen. I tweeted it out. It's like, this is not the first time Gallen has gotten into trouble with other pitchers. Like it's just the way Gallen is. He plays with people. He gets under their skin. Like that's a game plan. That's what you do. You just kind of mess with somebody, throw them off their game. So the fact that he kept chirping at that point. It's like, yeah, he got into his head a bit, like, which is what you want. But unfortunately, this offense couldn't do anything really against him either. But I mean, he had the game lost until Manta play, caused the collapse. So if the guy out of the inning, would he still kept chirping? No, probably not. But he just because he has the whole team to hold him back now, then he's going to keep talking.
Yeah, it was really weird. Like I was like, what is going on with this whole grounds crew thing keep coming out, and then I came home and rewatched the game on the TV broadcast. I'm like, okay, I get why the grounds crew was out there, but it was some very like petty childish stuff. All the
like I imagine if he's doing that in Detroit, and the opposing pitcher, if the opposing pitcher is like, hey, is there any chance I can get this filled in, and they did it, is he going to do the same shit then? No, like if anything, he's probably going to be like, this is my field, I can do what I want here. And it's like, okay, cool, Zach Gallen can do the same thing, man. Like like you said, it's a nothing burger. It's really not like, it's both of them just very, I fully understand it. I get heated. Me and my brother get heated in Tuesday night beer league softball, for dumb shit for balls and strikes. So I can imagine that, like in baseball, two guys like that are very they're not to steal Dre's blood, but Dre's blood. What the fuck? Dre's quote, but they definitely walk around just with fire in their blood, just all the time. Like they're very fiery individuals. It's just when both of them, Gallen, he plays mind games. I think Jack tries to do the same thing, but if anything, he's more of a, I'm not here to play mind games, I'm here to pitch, fuck off kind of mindset. And I think that's just what it was. It's because obviously we didn't see anything about it today. Nothing really came out about it after. Yeah. It was kind of, I didn't see exactly what Jack said on it because I assumed he was asked about it, but clearly they moved on, and there wasn't like retaliation or anything. Nobody gave a shit today.
Yeah, because it was something that was just in that game. Like it would have been stupid if this somehow carried over to Sunday's game. So glad that it didn't. So speaking of that, moving on to game 3, which we won. Another weekend series. Dude, oh my god, I just realized that might be 4 in a row that because we won on a Sunday. Yes. So Mariners, the only game we won was on Sunday. Padres, Sunday. Orioles, Sunday. Tigers. That's 4 straight weekend series that we only winning on Sunday. It's great that we didn't get swept, but I don't want this to be
because each one of those games, each one of those series, there was a game that they very could have easily won and flipped the series to being a series win.
And had they'd be over 500 right now. So game 3, like I said, we didn't have to wait long for Corbin to get another triple. He did in his first at bat today. This one, I like the aggression, but that play was way too close for me. He should have been out. Like he should have been called out here. Like I get what I like the aggression. Cano was taking a while to get the ball back in. He knows he's fast. He's gonna get in. And I believe this is nope, not that one. This one. Jock drives him in. So unlike on Saturday, we didn't strand him there. Cattell got a walk. So he ended up getting to third on that. Jock had 2 RBI on the day. So that was good to see. We didn't have to sweat this out for Cattell, for him to extend his hit streak to 18 games. He got 2 hits in this game. So
first multi-hit game, I think I'm going to look it up actually.
So this is the second game in his hit streak that he's had 2 hits. Every other one, He's been 1 for 4 or 1 for 5.
15 to 16, I think. 15 to 16 are singles. So only seems to have one multi-hit game.
Yeah, that's why his average is going down as he's
still
on this hit streak.
292. Let's see.
Yeah,
So that was
like,
his
it's-
first multi-hit game in the month of May, and the first one since April 29th against the Dodgers.
Yeah.
So yeah, first multi-hit game of the month of
only
May.
Only two of the games he's had more than one hit. That's why his average during the streak is like in the 250s, because he keeps going 1 for 4, and that's simple math right there. But no, that was really good. We could have lost this game on this play. I don't know why he got sent. This play is really, really close. I understand why they challenged it. Because it does look like it's bang bang. Like, it looks like he might have gotten there. Really good tag by Barnhart. Like, it's really close. All I'll say is the whole blocking the plate rule, I can't freaking stand it anymore. I hate the Buster Posey rule. It's really hard. Like, it's really hard to make sure that you're not blocking, but keeping your eye ready for the. Just go back. Like, there are some people.
I like it for the safety. Like, I understand some of the safety measures and not just letting guys run into each other. Like, I think there needs to be a rule about like that. But it gets a little bit like nitpicky. Like when Kurt Gibson's like, "Oh, he's blocking the plate." I'm like, man, like if he's I think there's. Oh, if he's in front of the plate, yes. But if he's there and you can go around him with an arm and slide into it, like that's just baseball. Again, like there's actually obstruction and there's just positioning well to actually have a good baseball IQ. Like you can't take that part of the game away. And I feel like they kind of have.
Yeah, it's kind of like the block roll where it's just kind of like, is that blocking? Is that not blocking? So if the ball comes in this split millisecond, and if you're slightly in the way, like your obstruction, like it's just very ticky-tacky. Like I think they should just reduce it to don't charge in at the guy hard.
Yeah, don't bulldoze him.
Yeah, it's
and like I can
like with what's his face. What Pete Rose did during the playoffs, the playoffs.
But that wasn't even the playoffs.
All-Star
game.
The goddamn All-Star game. Like, just don't do that. That's all they got to say. Just don't do
Crazy
that.
stat about Pete Rose. Just I think he made 14 straight All-Star games. Just Google Pete Rose 14. Find out
14,
more information.
Yeah. I wanted to mention real quick the outfield defense. The game before and this one, like, goddamn, dude, like it's so bad. Like the outfield defense. They seem to allow like a couple runs on Saturday and even today. Like the way Corbin played that one off, I think the run would have scored, but damn, like they really opened themselves up to losing this game because of it. I think Alec is not going to get that. It's bounced off the wall like way too high up, but I think he would have been able to
feet off the wall. No one's picking that catch.
But at that point, it's like I think Alec would have the wherewithal to stop, turn around, get it off the wall. But Corbin, since he's not used to playing there, same with Pavin yesterday, where it was a fly ball and he was just like, look like when you play MLB The Show and you're just like spinning the controller around. He just looked like he was running around in circles out there, and then the ball just went over his head. McCarthy, with the Javi Baez thing, like I think the ball he read the ball wrong and then just couldn't get it. And then with the bases loaded double, same thing too. He just seems to have read it wrong. Like I think Gurriel should have been out there. As great as McCarthy is, he's a right fielder. He's not a left fielder. Left field is totally different. Same with Carroll. Like as good as he is, he had that ball that bounced off his glove too to begin the game. Like it just made Gallen work even more. So it's like that's one thing where I think the defense, as soon as we get Domo and Alec back, I think the defense is going to tighten up. But the defense wouldn't have made a difference in some of these games because they got outscored how much in total? 47-2 or something like that, right? Just about. So
we had 13-0, 8-3, and then 6-4.
Yeah,
so 18. So 30 to 9.
I think half a point. Yeah, so
So
it's just the defense wouldn't have made a huge difference, but I think in the tighter games when like this one's 6-4, in these tight games, I think the defense is really, really gonna like be more secure. But again, like they had a game where they finally scored enough runs and sucked that Montgomery couldn't really finish the day off well and get his own win because I mean he allowed 4 runs, but also there was I can't remember what play it was, but there was a play during when he was pitching that I feel like with the better defense they could have made the play.
yeah,
Or it
and I
was
don't
Thompson. It was
remember.
a Thompson one. The run that Thompson allowed. It was a very weird play, and I felt like if we would have had, better defense in the outfield, we could have made the play. But either way, it's good game that they won, but it's frustrating that it went the way it did. But credit to Paul Sewell. Finally, we had a stress-free 1-2-3 in a while.
No, that's actually I think his second or third in a row for a save,
Second in a row.
which is crazy that we can be like.
I mean, as a
like,
team,
oh,
we haven't had
yeah.
a.
No, I get you. I
Yeah,
get you.
I don't remember what day it was, Friday or Saturday. There was a deep fly ball to left center that
And that'll make this a 4-2 ball game. Sorry.
that
the meme took over. I apologize.
I feel like McCarthy should have made. I think he just didn't read it very well as he was getting near the wall. It might have been the bases clearing triple that they had on Saturday. There's just a lot of plays where I'm just like, I know you guys are better than this. I know you can make that play. I just think everyone is just in a funk. Like everyone seems to be in a funk of some sort. So we just need the good vibes from Domo back, which he did take, I think, batting practice yesterday. But Tori did say he does expect Domo to come back before Alec. I don't know when Alec's gonna come back. I hope we get Domo before the end of the month. They did say on the broadcast today that they're hoping by June 1st Domo will be back, but they're not sure. So we'll just
I would love
have
that.
to.
We need our shortstop king.
Yeah.
We need our zesty king.
Zesty king. But no. Randall Grichuk still kills lefties, y'all. Like he came in late to pinch hit and gets a single against a lefty. Like he is.
Dude, him and Jock are insane. Like Jock is slashing. I believe I put it in the thing. Yeah, Jock is now slashing on the season 317, 421, 558, over 100 at bats. Grichuk has faced a little more righties than I think we would have expected, and so that's why some of his OPS is in 750. But I mean, yeah, he's still hitting 291. They're a really good combo. Mike Hazen cooked. I know we were probably all can even go back and be like,
Jock Peterson and Randall Grichuk.
It's like we wanted.
I know for me,
we wanted JD Martinez, and now we're just sitting here looking
Grichuk, and then we heard, oh yeah, he's hurt. He's gonna be out for a month. I'm like, Hazen, what do you like? I thought it was so why would you sign a guy knowing he's hurt? I'm fine with it.
And then now I'm like, you know what? At this rate, they're one of the only consistent guys, or some of the only consistent guys in the entire lineup. So, I'll take it.
Yeah. So, yep. This wasn't, again, another series that I personally feel like we should have taken. And now we get to talk about this. We're going to LA for a 3-game series. And 2 of the matchups is Yamamoto and Glasnow.
Oh God.
So, I don't feel great about that. And it's really weird. I was looking on the MLB app, and it's showing Mantiply as the starter.
Oh, they confirmed today that he's going to be the opener, and Slade's going to come in after. That's what Tori said in the post-game interview. Said Mantiply is going to be the opener, and they're going to go to Saccone afterwards.
Okay, so Yamamoto. So Yamamoto's pitching tomorrow. Tuesday is Fott versus Gavin Stone. And Wednesday Ryan Nelson versus Glasnow.
Let's go! Yay! I mean,
I
this
will
is not
say,
this year.
yeah, Glass now reaches 60 inning season limit already, so we should be able to tee off of him a
that
bit.
agenda is not looking good so far this year.
It's really not.
I'll put money on it right now. They're gonna score at 4 runs, 6 innings. Count it.
I mean, I would love it.
Glass now is 6-2
It's just
with
the
a
most predictable shit
2.9
ever.
ERA.
Like he has always been, doesn't pitch innings in Tampa Bay, gets traded to the Dodgers. They're like, here's $150 million. And he's like, wow, my arm is okay all of a sudden. I can go 7 innings a game. I got you. It's like, really? Like any other team? Damn it, man.
I didn't realize he's
always a
6'8". He's
so tall.
He's a
And
I met him in
great
person.
actor too. God damn.
I met him in person. I met him in person at a Suns game maybe a couple years ago. He's a beautiful man. Like, man, when I recognized him right away. Like, he literally stands out in the crowd. I was walking to
Yeah, he's
Warwick Park, and I
6'8".
saw him. Yeah, I
but,
saw him pass by. Like,
genuine. Like he looks like a.
he looks like a superstar. That's like when you see him, you're like, oh, this man is floating. Like, it's so weird. Like I just saw him.
I
Like,
hate all these good people. I love a lot of the players that are on the Dodgers. Like as people, as humans, they're so good. Like such good people, so cool, so fun to root for. But then I'm like, oh wait, you're a Dodger. Damn it.
They're on the Dodgers.
yeah, that's what sucked. That's what sucked about it. I'm like, man, I have a picture with him and everything. I asked him for a picture. Like, I used to love Glass now, but seeing that, I have my hater agenda right now. Same with Otani. Like, Otani was my favorite player of all time, and now he's my enemy until he retires. With another team, I guess. Dbacks to give him a 1-day contract so he can retire with us or something.
Dude, he's only
so
29.
I wonder if you guys know this name. Anthony Banda is on the Dodgers.
Oh,
Yeah.
Banda's on the Dodgers. The former.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I just baseball.
I thought he was too. I hadn't heard anything from him.
Good
for like a year
lord,
and a half.
when did we trade him to the Rays anyway? Was that in the Suarez? Or not Suarez? God, who's the left fielder that we traded that blew out his knee?
Souza.
Souza, thank you. I knew it started with an S. Souza. Was it in the Souza trade? Ooh. I feel like it was. God, why do I love how I can remember when Anthony Banda was traded and what team he was traded for, but I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta call my doctor and do this soon. Ooh, I forgot about that, huh? I love being a sports fan.
Yeah. So sorry, I was just looking at the Dodger lineup. I'm like, oh my lord. Yeah,
I will say there is a lot of garbage after the 5th batter. But kind of doesn't matter when Otani and Mookie Betts and Fred Freeman all go back to back to back.
Oh, it's okay. With Ryan Nelson facing them, we saw how he made Javier Baez look. That entire lineup is people are gonna see that and they're gonna be like, yeah, let's just put this entire team in the All-Star game.
Yeah, Chris Taylor's batting like 170, I think, and same with Max Muncy. He's batting like 180, but we all know they're gonna bat 500 against the D-backs.
Chris Taylor's batting 083.
That's what I'm saying. They're both bad. Like it's like the entire bottom half of the Dodgers lineup is complete garbage, but somehow they just always hit home runs when they need them, which is what this team
Muncy
needs.
is on the IL. So yeah, that 6 through 9 in that lineup is not good, but 1 through 5 is literally the best.
They also send the supposed Rookie of the Year down already.
James Outman. I mean, hey man, I'm not speaking a word about him anymore. When our actual Rookie of the Year is not doing too much better. But thank you, Brian. I was correct. Anthony Banda was traded to the Rays in the Brandon Drury deal that we sent him to the Yankees, and we got Steven Souza Jr.
Yeah, you mean the man that couldn't stay on the field?
That was in 2018. Wow, I thought that was a lot longer ago. Yeah, he's bounced around to like 5 teams now: Rays, Giants, Pirates, Blue Jays, Yankees, Nationals, and now Dodgers. Oh, Guardians and then Dodgers. Wow, good for him.
Yeah, I did.
Hopefully we can face him at some point this week. I feel like and it's not in a we're being blown out, so they're using him as pity. Maybe we can somehow I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say the name. I'm just gonna say somehow hit one of the Dodgers starting pitchers, so I don't jinx any of the actual games.
Oh, he got traded there 2 days ago, and they immediately brought him up.
Let's hope we face him.
Wow, I didn't realize that. So that's interesting. Yeah, this is gonna be. I don't know what we're gonna get here. I really don't, because they have Glass now and Yamamoto going. I feel we shouldn't do hot takes anymore because we're always so bad.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm not mentioning any single. We can do a prediction or like what we think, something that we hope for, as a hopeful thing on the Diamondbacks, like maybe a player that we're predicting to stand out instead of like series predictions, like where I'm like, oh, we're gonna make this Dodgers pitcher suck.
Marte continues his hit streak. That's all I want to see. And maybe 1 or 2 of the games he gets 2 hits too. Not this 1 for 4 stuff.
Yeah, I'm just hoping Carroll rises to the occasion. Like, I don't expect him to even win the series, but if Carroll's able to come around, especially with how deep Dodger Stadium is, I would hope he's able to get a couple more triples there.
I think I'll probably Brandon Pfaadt just continue his nice solid streak. Not anything crazy like 7 innings, no runs. Just a noise. I was about to be Australian for a second. Good Lord, what is
Noise.
Noise. A nice like maybe 6 innings, a few runs. Just keep them in the game. That's all I'm really looking forward to. Well, not looking forward to, but looking for.
Yeah.
Hey, at least the one positive is if we can survive this series and have some hopefuls. We have the Marlins back here at home, and I don't know exactly what the Marlins record is, but I'm going to check it right now. I don't think it's good.
No, they're pretty bad. Probably one of the worst teams in the league, which means they're going to sweep us probably.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, the Marlins are 15-33.
Yeah, they're not good. So in former D-back player news, David Peralta was signed to a minor league contract with the San Diego Padres.
It's not a Dodger, so at least good for him. Riley Reid of the NL West, just gonna be passed around by everybody.
Oh my God, you're so terrible. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I feel like the only reason they made the signing is eventually they plan on bringing him to the major league roster as a late inning pinch hit.
He's gonna the inevitable August David Peralta pinch hit home run against us at Chase Field is gonna happen. I can already tell it's gonna happen.
It's gonna be not fun to watch. Gabe, any parting thoughts for the pod today?
Be better. That's it. Be better. Everyone be better. The team, us, everyone listening, just be better.
I like it.
Right.
Disappointed dad energy. I like it. Yeah. I mean, just kind of agree with Gabe. Everyone has something they can be better in life, and the D-backs have a whole lot that they can be better in on the field. So let's hope we see some improvements. Exactly. But there's been a few games where all those are just all turned off, and it's literally just poking.
Right.
Does it work? And I know what's wrong with it. It ain't got no gas in it.
That was Friday, y'all. That 13-0 shellacking was not very fun. If this is your first time on the channel, we thank you for stopping by. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you get notified of whenever we go live. We'll see you after the Dodger series, and I don't know how I'm going to feel about it.